Everyone, in this video I will go over my solution to the problem named Robot on the Board 1 taken from today's Codeforces round. I solved this problem in contest, so I'll be telling you my exact thought process. This problem is an excellent problem on basic math and the extremal principle, which is basically a technique in which we consider extreme cases in a problem and we are applying the extremal principle in a coordinate geometry setting. So I'll be explaining how we can consider extreme cases to solve this problem. So in this problem, we are basically given an m by m board and the rows are numbered from 1 to m and the columns are from 1 to m. And there's a robot which we need to place on the board at some position x comma y so that the sequence of commands which the robot follows is maximized. The maximum number of commands which the robot follows, which is a prefix of the string s, is maximized. So for example, let's say we start at position 1 comma 2, or let's say that n is 1, m is 2, this is the input and we have the string l. Then in that case, if we start from the position 1 comma 2, we will go to the position 1 comma 1 and that's why we will be able to complete the operations performed in the string s. So each operation is of the form left, right, down or up. When a left operation takes place, this means that the y value decreases. A right operation means the y value increases. An up operation means the x value decreases, and a down operation means the x value increases. So each time we want x to be less than or equal to n and x to be greater than or equal to 1, y to be less than or equal to m, y to be greater than or equal to 1. So if we start at this position x comma y, then taking the left turn will go to 1 comma 1 and that's why it works. And in the next example where we have n is 3, m is 3 and we have this kind of operation, then a key idea over here, which is actually the first key idea, is that let's try to find out the change in x or delta x and the change in y or delta y at every point. So initially delta x is 0, delta y is 0. Then when we get the right operation, we know that the y value increases. So delta y becomes 1. Then another right operation means delta y becomes 2. Then a down operation means that delta x becomes 1. And a left operation means that delta y becomes 1. And an up operation means that delta x becomes 0. And another operation means that delta x becomes minus 1. So now the key idea is that we know if we start at x comma y, then at every point the position which we'll be at is x plus delta x comma y plus delta y, and we want this quantity x plus delta x to be greater than or equal to 1 and less than or equal to n at every point, and we also want y plus delta y to be greater than or equal to 1 and to be less than or equal to n. So first, before reaching the answer, let's just tabulate this information. So we know when we start, delta x and delta y are 0. After a right turn, delta x becomes 0, delta y becomes 1, and so on, exactly the way which I just mentioned. So you can pause the video now and figure this out on your own. Now the key idea is that x plus delta x should be greater than or equal to 1 and less than or equal to n. So that's why we need that x plus maximum value of delta x should be less than or equal to n, and x plus the minimum of the delta x value should be greater than or equal to 1. We only need to consider the max and the min because we know that for a smaller delta x, which satisfies, so if we had dx minus 1 for example, so if we know x plus the max dx is less than or equal to n, then any other smaller value will always be less than or equal to n. That's why we only consider the max and the min quantities respectively. So for the min case, it's a similar argument. If we have the min dx and then if we add plus 1, we'll always get it to be greater than or equal to 1. That's why it doesn't make sense to consider the case when we are not considering the minimum dx. That's why we only consider the min dx. And that's why we basically at every point we need to store what is the max dx and what is the min dx so far. So let's store that. So we'll keep two tables, min and max. So initially the min and max are 0 for dx, and then we just update them. So the min is always 0 so far, the max is 1 so far, and then the min becomes -1 and the max becomes +1. So at this case we want, so at every step we want this condition to be met. So note that it can be possible that the robot is not able to perform all the tasks. So we want to execute the maximum number of commands. That's why at every step we want these two conditions to be met. In this example, it's possible for the last task to also be to also happen, because x minus 1 is greater than or equal to 1 is possible. So x minus 1 is greater than or equal to 1 and x plus 1 should be less than or equal to 3 is possible when x is equal to 2. And similarly for dy, you can compute the min and max. You'll realize that the min is 1 and the max is 2. So we need y minus 1 to be greater than or equal to 1 and y plus 1 to be less than or equal to 3. And that happens when y is equal to 2. So for the y value, we need y plus 1 to be greater than or equal to 1 because the min dy is 1. And we need y plus 2 to be less than or equal to 3 because the max dy is 2. And hence this works when y is 1, not when y is 2. Sorry for that mistake. That's why 2 comma 1 is the correct output for that example. Now let's generalize this algorithm which I just mentioned. So at each step we can update dy and dx by just using the four conditions which I just mentioned, and then we can update min dx, min dy using just the simple O of 1 min update. Then we need to ensure that there exists an x value greater than or equal to 1 and less than or equal to 1 exists, such that x plus the max dx. So we also need to maintain max dx and max dy respectively. So we need to ensure that x plus max dx is less than or equal to n and x plus min dx is greater than or equal to 1. So now that's what we need to do. And to find out this value, let's just use the observation that x plus max dx is less than or equal to n, means that x is less than or equal to n minus max dx. So we can just take the value of n minus max dx and we can check if that value is greater than or equal to 1. Or basically, so we'll just set x to be equal to n minus max dx, and if x is greater than or equal to 1 and x is less than or equal to n, and basically x minus min x plus min dx is greater than or equal to 1 and I mean yeah, so and also we can check that x plus max dx is less than or equal to n, but that condition is already met, so that's why we don't need to explicitly check this. But once these four conditions are met, then we can set answer of x to be x, and these conditions should also be met for y. So when the same thing is met for y, so if we set y to be n minus max dy, then let's set that also in, I'll show you in the code. So if that is set and the same condition happens for y, then we set answer of x to be x and answer of y to be y, because we know that x and y satisfy the conditions that the robot does not go out of the grid. Otherwise, we need to basically break from the loop, because we know that no x and y exist, and hence no x and y exist, and that's why the robot will definitely go out of the grid. And in the end, we just print answer x and answer y. So now I'll show you the code implementing the same idea. So in the code, for each test case, I taken the value of n and m, I taken the string s, I keep track of delta x, delta y, max delta x, min delta x, max delta y, min delta y. Answer x and answer y are initialized to 1 comma 1. So we print that in case there's none of the instructions can take place. Then if the characters L, we decrease delta y by 1. character is r, then we go to the right. That's why we increase y by 1. If it's up, we decrease x, and if it's down, we decrease the delta. I mean, we increase the delta x. Then we compute the min delta x, the min delta y, the max delta x, the max delta y. Then we need to find an x such that x plus delta x is less than or equal to n, and x plus min delta x is greater than or equal to 1. That's why we can greedily set x to be n minus max delta x and y to be m minus max delta y for a similar reason. And we just need to check the conditions that x is greater than or equal to 1, y is greater than or equal to 1, x is less than or equal to n, y is less than or equal to m, x plus min delta x and y plus min delta y are greater than or equal to 1, and x plus max delta x is less than or equal to n, y plus max delta y is less than or equal to m. And if all those conditions are met, we set answer x to be x and answer y to be y. Otherwise, we break. And in the end, we just print them with a new line character. And now I'll just submit this code to see that it gets accepted. So as you could see, my code got accepted. I hope you like this problem and my solution. If you had any doubts, do leave them in the comments down below. And if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Thank you.